The introduction to the rise of Wu Zetian sets the stage for exploring the extraordinary journey of a woman who ascended to the highest echelons of power during a period when imperial China was overwhelmingly patriarchal. Wu Zetian, the only female emperor in China's history, carved out a place for herself through remarkable wit, political savvy, and indomitable ambition. Her rise is significant as it defied the traditional gender-restricted pathways to power and reshaped the cultural and political landscape of China during the Tang Dynasty. The significance of Wu Zetian's rise extends beyond her personal ambitions. It marked a paradigm shift in the societal roles available to women in ancient China. Her ability to gather supporters, outmaneuver opponents, and consolidate power stands as a testament to her formidable skills and intellect. This challenges the prevailing narratives of gender roles in history and opens discussions on women's capabilities and leadership. Two specific instances underscore her remarkable ascent. First, Wu strategically positioned herself within the royal court by initially entering as a concubine to Emperor Taizong and later marrying his successor, Emperor Gaozong. Her adept navigation of court politics enabled her to eliminate rivals and secure her influence. Another example of her shrewdness is her establishment of the Zhou dynasty, temporarily interrupting the Tang Dynasty to rule as an empress in her own right. This move not only demonstrated her assertive governance, but also her ability to wield absolute power. Supporters of Wu Zetian's rise often cite her as a progressive force who made substantial contributions, such as implementing meritocratic reforms and endorsing Buddhism to unify her realm. However, her reign is not without controversy. Critics argue that her path to power was marred by ruthlessness, including the alleged execution of opponents and even family members, which presents an alternative viewpoint on her governance style. Wu Zetian's rise profoundly influences the broader narrative of her life and reign. It connects to aspects of her legacy, such as her reform policies and cultural patronage, which in turn impacted subsequent generations. Her ascent also laid the groundwork for discussions on gender and power, challenging the status quo and inspiring future shifts in societal norms. The complexities of her rise and rule continued to evoke fascination, making Wu Zetian a compelling historical figure whose life and actions are pivotal to understanding China's imperial history. The heading, The Astonishing Life of China's Tyrant Empress Wu Zetian, introduces the concept of Wu Zetian, the only female emperor in Chinese history, whose reign from 690 to 705 AD during the Tang Dynasty was marked by significant political and social transformations. As a ruler, Wu Zetian is often described as both tyrannical and innovative, a dichotomy that profoundly enriches her historical narrative. Her significance lies not only in her gender-defying role, but also in her impactful governance, which redefined the traditional patriarchal structures of ancient China. Wu Zetian's importance in history is underscored by her dramatic rise to power in a male-dominated society. Her reign challenged the Confucian orthodoxy that sought to restrict women's roles to domestic spheres. This bold assertion of female authority laid a precedent and opened discussions about women's capacities for leadership in Chinese society. Wu's implementation of meritocracy through rigorous examinations allowed talented individuals from all social backgrounds to rise within the governmental ranks, a move that enhanced the efficiency and inclusiveness of her administration. One real-world application of Wu Zetian's influence is seen in modern China's ongoing conversations about gender equality. Her legacy continues to inspire debates about women's roles in leadership and governance. Another example is the merit-based civil service system, which echoes Wu's early versions of bureaucratic reforms, still relevant in various global governmental structures today. Supporters of Wu Zetian argue that her reign brought about necessary reforms and innovations that stabilized and enriched the Tang era. These opinions suggest that, despite her ruthless consolidation of power, Wu Zetian was an adept and visionary ruler whose impact was largely positive. However, Wu Zetian's reign is not without controversy. Her ascent to power involved purges and executions that have led her detractors to label her as tyrannical. Confucian historians in particular have criticized her for violating traditional gender roles and moral codes, contributing to a polarized view of her legacy. In relation to other aspects of her life, Wu Zetian's rule exemplifies the complexities involved in balancing progressive reforms with authoritarian measures. Her story interweaves political ambition, gender defiance, and visionary leadership, offering a multifaceted perspective on governance and power dynamics. Thus, Wu Zetian's life remains a pivotal chapter in the annals of Chinese history, providing rich insights into the interaction between gender, power, and reform. Wu Zetian, known as China's only female emperor, rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful figures in Chinese history. The concept of her early life and path to power explores how her unique trajectory defied the norms of her time, setting the stage for her unprecedented rule. Born in 624 AD to a relatively affluent family, Wu entered the Tang court as a concubine to Emperor Taizong. Her intelligence and determination quickly distinguished her from her peers, allowing her to forge critical alliances within the palace. This period was crucial as it laid the groundwork for her future ascendancy, highlighting her strategic acumen and political savvy. Wu Zetian's early life is significant because it demonstrates her ability to navigate and manipulate the rigid social structures of her era, which were heavily skewed against women. Her eventual rise to Empress was not just a personal triumph, but a challenge to the patriarchal norms of imperial China, reshaping ideas about women's roles in leadership. For example, when Emperor Taizong died, Wu, instead of retiring to a nunnery as was customary, managed to become the concubine of his successor, Emperor Gaozong. This bold move reflected her exceptional ambition and tactical prowess. Later, she consolidated power by eliminating rivals and strategically placing allies in key positions, illustrating her adeptness at court politics. Supporters of Wu's ascent may argue that her rise was a testament to her extraordinary capabilities and that she significantly influenced China's socio-political landscape. However, her path to power is not without controversy. Critics point to her ruthless tactics, which included numerous political purges and alleged assassinations, posing moral and ethical questions about her methods. Some historians view her actions as excessively tyrannical, while others argue that they were necessary given the political context of the time. Wu's early life and path to power directly influenced her rule as emperor, where she implemented reforms that centralized authority and promoted meritocracy, concepts that were rooted in her initial experiences of overcoming societal barriers. This foundation also meant that once in power, her policies often reflected a blend of Confucian and Buddhist ideals, aiming to stabilize and enhance the state's functionality. Hence, her early life not only set the stage for her rule, but also dictated the subsequent actions and policies she championed, making her a complex and enduring figure in Chinese history. Wu Zetian, also known as Empress Wu, was the only female emperor in the history of China reigning during the Tang Dynasty. Her life and reign remain a subject of great intrigue and debate, offering fascinating insights into ancient Chinese history and politics. At the core of understanding Wu Zetian's significance is the concept of her unprecedented rise to power in a traditionally patriarchal society. Wu Zetian shattered the glass ceiling of her era, rising from being a low-ranking concubine to becoming the ruler of one of the world's most powerful empires, the Tang Dynasty. This unique ascent was significant because it challenged the rigid gender norms of the time, proving that women were capable of leadership at the highest level. Wu Zetian's significance extends beyond her gender, however, as she implemented policies that significantly impacted Chinese society. For example, she promoted meritocracy by advocating for the civil service examinations, which allowed for more equitable access to government positions based on ability rather than birthright. Additionally, she supported Buddhism, which helped to unify and stabilize her rule, as it was a growing and popular religion at the time, contrasting with the previously dominant Confucian ideals that often reinforced male superiority. Despite these accomplishments, Empress Wu's legacy is marred by controversies. Critics argue that her rule was marked by ruthless actions, including the alleged execution of rivals and oppressive political purges, suggesting a tyrannical approach to maintaining power. Some scholars, however, contend that these claims were exaggerated by later Confucian historians who disapproved of a woman occupying the throne, pointing to a biased historical narrative. Wu Zetian's reign also plays a crucial role in understanding wider historical themes within the Tang Dynasty, such as the complexities of court politics and the evolving role of women in Chinese society. Her ability to navigate and manipulate the inner workings of the court demonstrates the intricate power dynamics of the time, while her influence paved the way for greater female involvement in Chinese politics, albeit with limitations. In summary, Wu Zetian's life exemplifies the potential for female leadership in a male-dominated world, and highlights the enduring tension between gender and power. Her reign poses challenging questions about historical narratives, the role of women in history, and the balance between authoritarian rule and effective governance, making her story a pivotal chapter in the annals of Chinese history.